When the American War for Independence broke out, 13 colonies severed ties with Britain. However, some of those colonies chose to remain loyal and later formed Canada. Thus the question is, why didn't Canada join the American Revolution? First, it's important to remember that in 1775, Canada, as a single nation, didn't exist. It was comprised of Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Quebec, Rupert's Land, and others. The differences between these people and the 13 colonies weren't actually that stark. Much of the anger at Britain was over the belief that King George violated their rights. Quebec had no interest in revolting because, well, they weren't English. The Quebec Act expanded the colony and granted them freedom of religion. To the Protestant colonies nearby, this was seen as a terrible move by Britain. Quebec's choice: stay with Britain, who gave them rights, or join rebels who despised them. Even when France helped the Americans, Quebec didn't want to return to French rule. Being a British colony gave Quebec access to a much larger international trade market. Another reason for rebellion was the intolerable acts, like the Stamp and Sugar Acts. These taxes were imposed without consent, leading to no taxation without representation. Britain's response: people in Britain barely have representation, so what makes you special? The ban on expanding westward to avoid Indian wars also pushed the 13 colonies to revolt. While these issues affected the northern colonies too, the reaction wasn't as fierce. In Rupert's Land, the acts didn't matter as much since they relied on natural resources. Nova Scotia had close ties to New England, and many residents were immigrants from there. There were a few riots over taxes in Nova Scotia, but nothing more than that. Resistance couldn't be organized quickly because the province was much less urbanized. Nova Scotia's economy relied on the British military and the Royal Navy in Halifax. British troops were also needed to protect them from local Indian raiding. Raiding by American privateers during the war soured the relationship with the rebels. In Newfoundland, residents saw themselves as entirely British, not just colonists. Their distance from the South meant they lacked solidarity with the 13 colonies. The colonial elites in the North hadn't lost money from Britain's actions. Proximity was key. It was quicker to sail to the North, making retaliation a real threat. I hope you enjoyed this episode.